Hello, welcome to our series of videos where we solve the questions in the WASSCE 2020 Dec Core Maths Paper 1. This is the fourth in the series, and in this one we're going to solve questions 31 to 40. 31 says, a class of 12 girls and 12 boys took a mathematics test. The mean mark for the girls was 52, and that for the whole class, or that of the whole class, was 59.8. Find the mean mark for the boys. We can begin by finding the total mark. There were 12 girls and 12 boys, so there was a total of 30 people who took the test. So if the mean of those 30 people was 59.8, then we can find the total score of the 30 people as 30 times 59.8. Now this total can be written in another way, where we get the mean of the girls. The mean of the girls was 52. And there were 12 girls, so the total for the girls will be 12 times 52, and then there were 18 boys. So if we knew the mean for the boys, then we'll multiply it by this 18, but we don't know what it is, so let's call it M. Now we have this equation to solve. We can use our calculator, but let's try to do it by hand. 30 by 59.8 is the same as 3 by 598. So what is 3 times 598? Well, we do 3 times 8 is 24. We carry the 2. 3 times 9, 27. We add the 2. We carry the 2. 3 times 5, 15. So this is what we get. And then 12 times 52. We can first do 10 times 52, and then we add 2 times 52. So here we're using this idea. 12 times 52 is the same as 10 times 52 plus 2 times 52. And 10 times 52 is 520, and 2 times 52 is 104. So adding the 2, we get 624 plus 18m. So using this, we can now write 18m equals 1794 minus 624. What does that give us? Well, subtracting, we get 0, 7, 11, 1170. So m is going to be equal to 1170 over 18. Again, we can use our calculator, but let's try to do it by hand. We first divide by 9. 9 goes here 2, and then 9 goes here. We have 1, remainder 2. 9 goes into 27, 3, and then we have 0. So 130 over 2, that's 65. So the answer is D. The next problem is 32. We have this diagram. We're supposed to find the value of y. Now this is parallel to that, as has been indicated. This is a right angle, as has been indicated, and we're told that PQS, this angle is 30 degrees. So how do we find y? Well, if we notice that this line being parallel to this line makes this line a transversal, then this angle and that angle are alternate angles. So this angle must also be 30 degrees. Now if that angle is 30 degrees, then because it lies on a straight line with y, the sum of this 30, so y plus 30 degrees must be equal to 180 degrees, and that means that y will be equal to 150 degrees, and that makes our answer D. The next problem is 33. It says a man has X number of cows and Y sheep. So he has X cows and Y sheep. If he had 4 more cows, he would have twice as many cows as sheep. So 4 more cows, how do we write that? Well, he has X cows, so if we now have 4 more cows, that's X plus 4. And it says that if you had this X plus 4 cows, he would have twice as many sheep. So twice as many sheep means that 2y, because the number of sheep is y. So if he had 4 more cows, he would have twice as many cows as sheep. So the number of cows, this new number of cows, is going to be equal to the number of twice the number of sheep. So this is the expression, and that is B. So let me go over it. We begin with X cows and Y sheep, and then we're told that if he had 4 more cows, if you have X cows and you now have 4 more cows, that gives you X plus 4 cows. And then we are told that when he has X plus 4 cows, he has twice as many cows as sheep. So the number of cows is greater than the number of sheep, and in particular you have to multiply the number of sheep by 2 to get the number of cows he has. So if he has Y sheep, we have to multiply this by 2 to now get the number of cows he has. So this gives us X plus 4 equals 2y. The next problem is 34. It says a regular polygon has 12 sides. Find the size of an interior angle of the polygon. Well, the formula for finding the sum of interior angles of a polygon is just 180 degrees times n minus 2, where n is the number of sides. So in the case where we have 12 sides, we're going to have 180 times 12 minus 2, which is 10. Now we're being asked to find the size of one interior angle of the polygon, but the polygon is regular, which means that all the angles are of the same size, and there are 12 of them. So this is the sum of the interior angles. There are 12 of them. They are all of the same size. So if we want to find the size of one, this is what we need to compute. And again, we can use our calculator, but we can also just do it by hand. 12 divides 180, 15. So we get 150 degrees, which is D. The next problem is 35. It says find the coordinates of the point of intersection of the lines, this line and that line. Now here we can solve the equation simultaneously to find the point of intersection. We have 2x here and 2x here, so we can subtract this second equation from the first. When we do that, we get 2y equals 2, which means that y equals 1. We can then substitute this value, y equals 1, into one of the equations. Let's use the second one. So we have 2x plus y, which is 1, equals 3. That means that 2x equals 2. That means that x equals 1. So we have the point of intersection being the point which has x equals 1 and y equals 1. So the answer is D. The next problem is 36. It says a trader bought n oranges at 0.20 Ghana cedis and m oranges at 0.25 Ghana cedis. What is the average cost of an orange? We can first find the total cost of all the oranges and then divide by how many oranges there are. If he bought n oranges at 0.2 Ghana cedis, then the total cost of those oranges is 0.2 times n. And then he bought m oranges at 0.25. Now we are not told if this 0.25 each, but we can, okay, so first let's assume it wasn't each. So the total price of the m oranges was 0.25, so we can write 0.25. So this is the total cost of all the oranges, and then we divide by how many oranges there are. It's m plus n, and then we try to look at the answers, which of them is close to this. This is out and this is out, so it's between this one and this one. And this one has 0.2n plus 0.25m over m plus n. This has 0.2m plus 0.25n. We are looking for 0.2n, so we'll go with this. This means that in actual fact they wanted to put each here to make the question clearer. They should have done that. So if m oranges cost 0.25 each, then the total cost of those m oranges is 0.25 times m, and that's how you get A as the answer. The next problem is 37. We have this diagram, PT equals TS, so this is an isosceles triangle, and then you have PS parallel to QR, that's indicated. You have PTS is 100 degrees, that's there. SPR equals 20 degrees, that's there. RPQ is Y. Y is what we want to find. We want to find Y. Now, these two lines being parallel and having this PR line crossing them that way makes it a transversal, and that means that this angle and that angle are alternate angles. So this angle is 20 degrees also. Now if this angle is 20 degrees, how does that help us to find Y? Well, if we notice that this angle, because this is an isosceles triangle, these two angles are equal, and if this is 100, then because the sum of the three angles should be 180, these two must add up to 80. So if they are equal, then this is 40 and this is also 40 degrees. All right, now this angle and that angle must add up to 180 degrees because they are opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral. So we can put that also here, and then this being 20 degrees, this being 80. If they are in a triangle with this angle, then this angle also must be 80 degrees. So we have this triangle having 20, 80, 80. Now if we observe that this angle, this 80 degrees, and that are opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral, then this angle must be 100 degrees because this angle plus that angle must be 180. So now we have a triangle with Y, and Y plus 100 plus 20 should be 180. So what is Y? Y is going to be 180 degrees minus 100 degrees minus 20 degrees, and that is 60 degrees. So our answer is B. Let me show the other answers. Our answer is 60 degrees, which is B. The next problem is 38. Consider the statements P, Peter works hard. Q, Peter will pass his examination. And we're supposed to write either Peter works hard or he will not pass his examination. So the or, also known as the disjunction, is represented by this V symbol. And on the left we have Peter works hard, that's P, or he will not pass his examination, that's the negation of Q. So that's what we're looking for, and that's B. The next problem says a rectangular field is 120 meters by 50 meters. How long will it take to walk along the diagonal at 3 kilometers per hour? So we draw a sketch. This is the rectangular field. One side is 120 meters, the other side is 50 meters, and we have a diagonal here that we're supposed to find. Now this diagonal, if you notice, is going to be 130 meters because this is a right angle triangle, and this is none other than the famous 5, 12, 13. Let me draw it let me draw it the way it looks here. So we have this, that, and that. So if you have a right angle triangle This is what I'm saying, 5, 12, 13. It's a famous right angle triangle, so you have to know it. If you have a right angle triangle with sides or with legs 5 and 12, the hypotenuse is going to be 13. And so if you scale that, if you multiply the sides by the same factor, you're still going to have a right angle triangle. So if you multiply this by 10, you get 150, multiply by 10, 120. This is also going to be 130. But of course, you can also use Pythagoras theorem, which says that the length of this hypotenuse is going to be what? It's going to be the square root of 50 squared plus 120 squared. So you can do this calculation. 50 squared is 2500. 120 squared is 14400. You can use your calculator to do all of this. 16900. And when you calculate this, you're gonna get 130. But again, if you know this, you don't have to do any of these calculations. You just know immediately that this is 130 meters. Then we now have to find how long it's going to take him to cover this length if he's walking at 3 kilometers per hour. Now 3 km is taking him 1 hour. 1 hour. That means that 3 km, which is the same as 3,000 meters, is going to take 60 minutes. So now, how long will it take him to cover 130 meters? Well, we can write the quantity that's going to give us that. It's going to be 130 times 60 over 3,000. And we can do some cancellations. Cancel 2 zeros. We have 6 here, 1, 6 here, 5. So we have 13 over 5. And what's 13 over 5? It's 2 remainder 3 over 5. And that's in minutes. All right, the next problem is question 40. That's going to be the last one. It says the bearing of x from y is 065 degrees. So the bearing of x from y, this is our y. This is going to be our x. And this angle is 65 degrees. What is the bearing of y from x? So we want to find the opposite. Well, we know that this angle is also 65 because they are alternate angles. This line is parallel to this line. So this is the transversal, and these are alternate or z angles or z angles. So they are both the same, 65 degrees. And we are now looking for this whole angle. That's going to be 180 plus 65. So 180 degrees plus 65 degrees, that's 245 degrees. That's going to be the bearing of y from x. That brings us to the end of this video, where we've covered questions 31 to 40. We're going to cover the remaining questions in the next video. See you then. Bye.